Civil rights, you demand that I euthanize your name. Walk ahead. You cover us in shame and I take the blame. Living by them rules, Teen Witch, high school blues. Walk ahead. To stop and obey, to stop and obey. Now rats can shine and jokers got silver lining, and Holy Mary sings songs in the wet rain. Walk ahead, walk ahead. Now every new day is a new fire. Until my teeth call me a liar. Building as you rip, someone show me someone living of desire. Big candles keep provoking, and blood red suns start choking. Can anyone stand this nonsense? Eaten away. Telling us to stop and obey.
What is the good word, friends? Welcome back. It's been a long 2 weeks off, but hope you all had a chance to recharge your batteries, get extra excited for gaming mode, because we are back, friends. The coalescence continues here on Role-Playing Unlimited with your host, Tragically HP, coming to you live from the 100th Meridian, where the Great Plains begin. Let's get into our voice chat right here, see what's going on with everybody. Welcome back, welcome back.
Hello, hello.
He's here.
Hello, hello.
Howdy, strangers. What's going on?
Hello. We were just talking about the best bucks and how cool a lot of those options are.
Very cool. Yeah, we tried to make it happen with the community challenge, but I think the individual ones may serve us better.
I don't know. Those are pretty steep prices. Not sure if people have that much Beskar bucks.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody
or anywhere
has...
near that kind of Beskar bucks.
Yeah, at this current point, but considering what people got refunded from the community challenge, I know some people got like nigh on 50,000 back. So, rather than having a handful of people activating the community challenge for the 40 or so that aren't aware of it, we'll just have each person handle their own bonuses, and you get to choose which one you want to aim for. So, hopefully that gets us where we're going. But looking at our setup here, yep, there's Veridar joining the table there. Theron is not with us tonight. He thought that the games resumed tomorrow night, which they do. We have Against the Serpents Session 2, brought to you by J-Man, GM Extraordinaire of Role-Playing Unlimited. That will be happening again tomorrow. But for tonight, we are picking up with Session 14 here of Open Table Monday night. And, yeah, it is not a direct continuation off of what we had occur a few weeks back. Just to get us all up onto the same page, I'm going to do a brief read-through here of something I posted in our Discord chat earlier today, just to kind of get everybody from point A to point B. And following the incident at Thrust K Spaceport with Colonel Starr, his missing daughter, and the strange cultists, Captain Gator was furious at this botched mission and was going on about how you were now exposed. Had your missions been undercover, black ops, you'd never been aware of that, but then again, the captain had been explicit in her directions that your group tried to maintain a strong distance from the colonel and his forces while on the mission. Your crew was given leave for a few days on the world of Saphira, while Gator and the other officers were apparently deliberating your status. Were they thinking of decommissioning the team? Suspension? Court-martial? Surely things couldn't be that bad. And worse still, those of the team who had arguably instigated and prolonged the combat with Starr had all been captured in your escape from the spaceport. There were simply too many troopers, and Starr was rejuvenating himself constantly throughout the combat. Even blasting him with a tank and dropping a building on him hadn't stopped him but for a few precious moments, during which some in your group were able to make their escape. But many were not here, captured or worse. That is left vague. And, yeah, not everybody saw exactly who was injured, who was captured, who might have been blasted and slain. But of the team of 9, there are but 5 remaining at this point. Asilatim, Kai, Mr. Twinkleberry Snodsworth, Theron, who, again, is not with us tonight, Tuki, and Yordle, who is Theron's companion, derived from the Deck of Many Things, so we do but don't count that one, because yes, it does add an extra companion, but Yordle has not traditionally been part of the group, only until recently. And joining us from the Wednesday table is Veridar, who I don't know if you've ever been on a Monday table with this character anyway, but welcome. And now
That's you, Ben.
for those of you, yep, looks like everybody did their level up and their long rest. So, make sure to mark this date on your in-game calendar in case it gets to be September or October and you've still not gotten another long rest. Remember fondly this July 10th when you last got a bit of rest.
Those were the days.
Didn't even experience it, just happened.
Yes, indeed. We did have an epic battle against a level 20 Colonel/Sith Lord. The guy's a fucking Sith? Yes, he is. We found out a bit more about Colonel Starr's background in the Coalescence channel in our Discord. Not up to speed. It is right there for your convenience to read whenever everything is tying together and we are learning mergings that we were previously unaware. Now, while you explore the concrete jungle of Uvori, the city in which you currently await your fate, one afternoon, troubling news comes in from Meridian, the ship's merchant. The Dragon Lotus has been destroyed! A powerful assault force dropped from deep space and bombarded us without warning. I and a small handful of crew have escaped the vessel, and we are descending planetside to... about as close as I can get to you. It looks like I'll be dropping into a jungle several clicks east of your location. If you could be so kind as to provide... The comms cut out, and attempts to summon him to your location are fruitless for the time being. For those of you T3 subscribers, I had 2 of them here for tonight, but with Mythwolf being out, I figure a Sealatim, that would be an obvious solution, at least for Meridian, not to mention who he might have with him. But that does seem to be a no-go at this point. So we are here in this rather industrial-type city. Not a lot of entertainment, not a lot of good things to do. Of course, you can find a drink and some food here and there, quality up to personal taste, of course. But this is the first bit of news that you've gotten in the 4 or 5 days since you've been dropped off here on this planet.
Before we got dropped off on this planet, one of who that's going to lend me some money so I could buy a whip +1?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so I'm going to be having a whip +1.
For those of you out there in Twitch land wondering amongst yourselves, as are some of us here at the tabletop, does Don's character possess time travel powers? The answer is yes.
Yay! By the way, poor One Eye. If the ship is gone, so is the bar.
Oh no!
Maybe the cantina deck was jettisoned along with the escape pods. We got to save the drinks and the food, right? Priorities.
I mean, there was a sign on the door before we left that the bar was closing temporarily while people were on mission. But
heck yeah. Yep. What I can say for certain is that we do know Captain Goddard is dead. Captain went down with the ship. All signs do lead to that anyway. It's like 95% certain. So if you put that in MCU terminologies, she's like 3% dead and 97% likely to come back. D&D terminologies, though, we can safely assume she's gone.
I will also need the imp token, please, with the sheet, the monster sheet.
Oh yeah. You did mention something about that. I was asleep though, so I meant to respond. You should tell me again later, but you did anyway.
Which is why I'm telling you again later.
Exactly. So let's deploy the imp. Deploy! Okay. There we go. We've got that. And new character sheet all the way at the top. We will... Everybody can see it. And Don can control it. Okie doke.
All right, thank you much.
Easy peasy. So yes, whenever we are prepared to return to the current stage of the timeline, how do we want to respond to Meridian's Mayday? If we're not ready to return, if we still want to do some shopping in the backdrop?
Yep, I just want to purchase one thing. A 400 gold vial for summoning purposes.
That's totally doable here at this location.
So a discount that would be 300, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, anything we get from Meridian. If you are T3, absolutely.
Okey-dokey. Oops. And that's all I wanted.
Well, okay. And if nobody else had any shopping necessities, whether at Meridian's prior to the current events going on, or whether you wanted to try to find something in the current frame where you're here in the city of Ulvari, and you're just thinking like, oh, I could use something like this. Like, if there's nothing like that, then definitely this seems to be the primary issue. What's going on with the destruction of your ship?
Don't be scared when the way paralyzes your state at the gate.
So are we all in the same area, like space guys, or did somebody decide? Oh yeah, I'm at the cantina and.
I assume
local-
you're all close enough. Or easy to convene once the news comes through.
Well, I guess, yeah, once we convene, and it's no problem for us to convene, correct?
No issue whatsoever.
Okay. Well, I think what we've done kind of got out there. We should probably go track down Meridian now.
Yeah, that seems about right. What did he say? Like, east, right?
I believe that's what he said, right?
Yes, I believe that's the case.
Everybody turns to Veridar for leadership, and there's none to be found. Why Veridar? I just got here!
Say hello.
I don't even know what the hell's going on.
What the fuck? There was a colonel? Like, chicken? You guys got into some shit with the colonel? Over the fucking, the original fried recipe?
Yeah, we kind of dropped a building on him and ran him over with a tank a few times. You know.
We tried to make him extra crispy, and he wasn't happy about it.
Power
Well,
armor
you know,
was quite strong.
Original recipe is the best.
Does this mean we're really gonna get court-martialed this time?
No, if the council got blown up, maybe you're off scot-free. Maybe anybody that's higher up will assume you were on the ship at the time.
Oh, let's go see if we can give Meriden a hand.
Alright. Well, we will remain on the starting screen here for the time being. Oh, let me make a slight adjustment, because that...
Before we head out, I'll do our ritual telepathic bond
Sweet.
between us, so we all have telepathy. We can communicate in our heads.
And with the staging area out of commission for the time being, Theron will actually be with our party, along with his companion, I guess the only exception being is that it's more of a traditional NPC, just kind of shoved to the background. And heading off to the east on foot into the jungle. It does take us some time to locate the tracking beacon that the escape pod just comes equipped with by standard. But once you do, maybe 90 minutes, 2 hours into your hike, it's pretty much a direct shot up into some craggy jungle, so it is more treacherous and watch your step than it is necessarily. God, that's a long way away from here. So it is some hours later that your group arrives, clothes perhaps a bit tattered, less any mending cantrips cast upon them, scrapes and bruises from the occasional slip and fall, and all of you are likely drenched from the perpetual rain that is just bombarding your every step here along the way. But you do finally come across the telltale signs of a crashed vessel. Some of the trees are knocked down. It is a bit more eerily quiet here than in other parts of the jungle where the sounds of birds and other wildlife were quite prevalent. And as you enter this clearing, you can see the escape pod is kind of wedged into the muck up ahead. And there are two people currently outside of it, one of whom is just kind of slumped against the exterior of the vehicle holding a med pack to a wounded forehead of his. And the other surviving passenger, or obvious surviving passenger, is a female elf who is walking around the site and basically organizing what supplies they have at their disposal. And as you're approaching, neither of them appear to take notice of you.
See, this is how we have to stealth next time.
I was fully prepared to stealth.
Do we recognize the two people or no?
The elf you have seen on board the Dragon Lotus a few times. The other person, their face is too obscured to tell, but he is wearing clothes that kind of jive with being ship's crew.
Does anything look out of the ordinary?
Aside from the ship having crashed, no, there's no signs of any monsters nearby. Nobody else that is kind of looking down on this site from a slight elevated position as your group is. No signs of Meridian or anybody else who may have potentially gotten on this craft. It is a decent-sized escape craft. It could potentially hold upwards of 30 people if they all crammed in, so to see only 2 people outside is a bit like, is it that bad, or is everybody just chilling inside, or are they scavenging into the jungle in every direction except for the one your group approached in?
Does it look like something from, well, is it the same ship the Wednesday crew had?
What, the YT-2400?
I don't know, whatever ship this thing that Meriden was on that crashed or blew up or whatever happened to it.
Gotcha. Yeah, it is not the same vessel that the Star Wars What If crew crashed into Tuesday night with 2 weeks ago. This is the standard escape pod, or escape shuttle, so to speak, from the Dragon Lotus. There's actually 2 of them, so perhaps another one also managed to get away with another group of survivors.
The imp and I are going to do some aerial recon to see what's going on.
Okay.
And I do have detect magic going if that's sending off any alerts.
Gotcha. What's the range on that? Is it 60 feet? If so, you'll need to get a bit closer. If it's like 90 feet
yeah,
or
I
line of
forget
sight,
what it
then
is.
you should be okay. Dom, go ahead and roll perception checks there for the pair of you. Anybody else who wants to do any kind of reconnaissance or investigation, perception? If you want to just head down there, whatever your play is.
I'm gonna go for a perception check real quick.
Sounds good.
It's 30 feet, by the way.
Woo. Oh, 30 feet. Okay. So yeah, you'll definitely have to
Sound
get
like
closer.
Yeah.
A lot closer.
Oh,
yeah, we're about 150 feet away out at this point, so
Mhm.
we can clearly see a lot of what's going on. We're just maybe not at some interaction ranges.
Yep.
Perception-wise, whether it be from above or just at a slight angle from the high ground, nothing that has not already been described. Everything seems pretty straightforward here. The vessel even looks like it might be operational if it were dug out of the muck, Empire Strikes Back Yoda style. Get that shit out of there. Speaking of which, who's going to be our first character in D&D 5e to get Star Wars 5e Force powers?
Well, if nobody else
I thought
sees
we were
anything...
keeping that secret.
Oh, we're just dropping little breadcrumbs along the way, so people are like, what? Huh?
If,
It's all
Well,
posted.
you told me not to tell them about it.
It's all posted in the Coalescence.
Yeah.
Everybody has access to it. I got Zastam working with fucking Sith Lords, working with Beholder who runs the donjon.
Yeah, he told us weird stuff was happening. I can go forward if nobody else wants to take point.
Sure, we can walk in.
Bad-
Doesn't
yeah.
look like anything bad is going on
I
at the
agree.
moment.
We're gonna do this Sir Thomas style then. Mages to the front, archers to the library, fighters to the walls. Wait a minute, are you sure about this, sir? Do what I said! Alright, so mage will take point.
Hey,
Uh,
I'm one of our beefier
I'm
boys out here,
going.
so...
I'm going with him.
Yeah, he can take some hits for sure, but you also have gotten whittled down pretty quick when focus fire happens those occasional times. But that's kind of the same for any character, I think.
Yeah.
Roll an acrobatics check for me there, Westy, just for satisfy curiosity. Alright, it's not the most graceful descent down the muddy slopes. I just didn't want you to, like, actually fall, like, head over heels.
Biff it hard.
Be like, hello, I've come...
that'd
Oh,
be-
God!
That'd have been funny as shit.
Alright, and as you are descending the slope here, it is rather difficult to maintain any kind of stealth if anybody wants to. Not that you were doing so from above, but it is the noise that you're making that kind of jostles the elf's attention, and she looks over and draws a little hand crossbow that she has at her side before she recognizes some of you, at least it seems, and she quickly lowers it. And she just kind of clasps her hands together and says, "Oh, thank the Pantheons. Is this all that is in your number?"
Yes, this is all left on this planet.
I had heard there was a situation, but I was not aware that so many were not with you. I am
Wow,
sad.
that sounded extremely like Goblin.
What?
Nothing, I sounded like a goblin for a moment and I forgot myself.
Oh, this seems to happen to you each week. But in any case, I am sad to say that you are looking at all that has survived the impact of the ship. Myself and and Chester here.
Can I make an insight on that?
Yeah.
We got a distress call from Meriden. He's not with you?
Not very insightful.
She lowers her head and does a religious gesture of some type before she says, "He was killed in the impact of the ship. I know it is possible that a restorative may be granted to him, but at this current moment it is quite a grievous wound."
A wound or
I
Yeah.
mean to say it is a grievous wound for those of us who have survived. Meridian
okay.
was a friend to us all, and largely responsible for why myself and Chester are even alive.
Oh, we are sorry for your loss.
It is a loss to us all. I understand that he was of crucial importance to your success in the field as well.
very much so, yes.
Did he give any information as to who it was attacked the Lotus?
Were you not on the ship as well, or?
I was. I am just uncertain as to how much of the situation you are aware. You clearly know that we crashed, and that we are here.
That is all his message was able to relay before
Yes.
it cut out.
Yes, I thought in the urgency of the situation it might be a bit quick. I was in the back part of the cabin tending to the wounded. It was a vessel and a contingent of support craft, the likes of which I've never seen. Tentacular would be perhaps one of the best ways to describe it, almost as if a living organism had found a way to breach the barriers between a breathable sky and the cold death of space. And whatever these vessels were, they didn't fire energy projectiles in a normal sense. It seemed almost as if they had an ability to directly affect the Lotus itself, as if to rip open hulls in areas that would do the most harm, rather than a somewhat more erratic spray of blaster fire.
That sounds horrifying.
It was indeed horrifying, if not for Meridian, who at least was there in, I believe, in the war room with the captain when the ship's sensors caught wind of this invasion, or this attack. And while others were scrambling to defense stations, to turrets, it was Meridian who dragged some of us onto the escape vessel as a just-in-case. And that just-in-case was all too quickly in coming. I dare say only 9 of us made it onto the shuttle itself, and yes, she just kind of looks over at Chester, who's just moaning there. This fucking sucks.
Question for the DM. Where is our current timeline in regards to the dragon fight with the Star Wars people occurring?
This is all after that.
Okay.
And,
Can I do?
Pickleberry is with that group too.
any
Yeah.
characters who are involved with that, what I can say is your characters obliterate the Ultra Dracolich. It is a hell of a battle, but it does not escape, and it is bested. Spoiler alert!
Can I do a medicine check on Chester?
Hell yeah. What you know about 7?
Nothing.
It's
So
a basic enough concussion that he seems to be treating it well enough, but perhaps with some aid and some assistance, the progress will go a bit more smoothly.
So the reason I asked about the timeline thing was, would we have communicated with the Star Wars people about, like, hey, we just killed this giant dragon. What have you fought? Oh, we fought that race that I can't think of in Star Wars that invaded.
The Yuuzhan Vong.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
So,
gotcha.
I'm curious if we had war stories to where, because that's what I think this is.
Yes. Yes. That is something that definitely could have and probably does happen in the Tuesday/Thursday session going forward here. The big thing also in a spoiler respect is there were only 5 members of that Star Wars crew who landed in that crashed YT-2400. And the only one who survives the Ultra Dracolich battle is the Astromech.
He was hiding inside the ship. So
correct.
That checks.
Correct. So any information gained is gained in binary or holographic display or even like old school 70s fucking data disk that you then gotta plug into a system and like read this shit on a screen. But it does definitely possess a wealth of information that we can get. It's just not in the traditional interactive sense.
So hearing what was described and knowing that, do we think it's the Yuuzhan Vong, or not enough to collaborate?
It certainly could be. Having any kind of living organism in space is all Yuuzhan Vong. And there have been reports of war vessels that the Vong possess that do have tentacles that can like grapple ships in outer space the way other ships might use a tractor beam.
Cool, thanks.
Milady, do you know what the fate of One Eye, the cantina?
Oh, let me search my memory here. And she grabs out a D20 and tosses it, breaking the fourth wall completely and shattering the stream to the point of... Oh god, it sent us to the frickin' BRB screen. Ah! Everything's broken. Hey, look at that, we're back. Welcome back, friends. So glad to have you with us. One Eye. Yes, I do believe... Oh, goodness. I'm afraid I cannot say one way or the other. I did see him and several of the standard bar patrons making a run for it. But they did not join us on our shuttle, so if they are alive, it would have been on the other vessel.
Good thoughts
So
out to
there's a
him.
chance.
There is a chance, yes. I did see them in flight, so it seems that they were aware of the potential threat. Or perhaps they were running to somewhere else on the ship, but I'm inclined to think they were trying to get away.
So, what is state now? Do we have a ship coming for rescue? Do we have to hunker down here for quite a while? Do we have to set up encampments?
Well, that is a bit why I was surprised to see only the 5... Oh, there's a turtle in the back. Oh, another turtle. Okay. The 7 of you. I was a bit surprised to only see your small collective. I was hoping perhaps someone in your numbers had sufficient rank to perhaps take command of the situation. I am afraid I was just an assistant in one of the shops.
Unfortunately, we were all just mercenaries on the ship, not part of the crew itself with rank.
I
I'm
see.
kind of a
And
little
even
bit.
if so. Oh, and even if so, our current situation did mark us for not being reliable.
I see.
Or at least botching our last mission.
Oh, is that what they were speaking of? I was not privy to such stories, but I had heard that there was something that had happened involving your group.
There was a few things, but there was definitely our adventures on the spaceport planet were none too productive for the mission.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Even so, official rank or not, I'm hopeful to rely on your experience, if nothing else, to see myself and Chester to somewhere safe. And, of course, whatever remains here as far as supplies or is within the ship, I am certain you will make better use for in your travels than I will be able to lug back to any location or leave here for any other scavengers.
Is the ship flyable? Do you know, or I mean, we can see it's buried, but
yes, if it could be drug out and if the engines are still workable, I suppose it could be.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go up to Chester and cast Cure Wounds on him. How
Alright.
bad does he look?
He looks
Maybe.
pretty bad, but he's also probably just an NPC, so a few points of health would probably mean the world to him.
Alright.
Oh yeah, die 8 plus the mod. There might be an attack block for it on the attack side of your sheet. Yes, indeed. Yeah, 4 points of healing right there is enough to bring him back to full. The swelling in his head goes down. The fogginess and wooziness is instantly remedied, and he pulls the med pack off of his head and just looks at Kai.
Oh, bless you. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so appreciative.
Let's just hope you can make it back into town.
Yes, it's been quite a day. I hope this is the worst of it.
We should probably see if we can't get that ship.
I have a method to get the ship out, if need be, which would require none of us to do anything. And they should be pretty efficient.
I'm dying to see this. Nobody has to do anything, and the ship is magically removed from the swamp.
We'll go ahead and... I'll assume that it's enough just to do that. I'll summon... This is why I got the vial. No, is the vial consumed?
I do not believe so.
I
5e,
didn't think so either.
Yeah, 5e, unless it says the component is consumed, you can
Okay,
reuse
good,
it over and over.
good.
Like the diamond for Revivify, you only need it one time.
Yep, that's what I thought. So I will go ahead summon an Earth Elemental.
Well, okay.
That should be pretty... I don't have its exact stat blocks, but I assume it's pretty strong. It can do Earth stuff, and I assume it should be able to get that out of there pretty decently.
That sounds reasonable, especially since it can kind of wedge itself underneath and reform
Yeah, it can get
itself.
underground. And...
Right. Yeah, it's got the ability. It's got not only the strength and the size, but the malleability to kind of get its
the Earth
yeah.
glide to go into the ground and stuff.
Exactly. And even in some respects, as it's pulling or rather in this case, more pushing the ship back onto the drier side of the swamp bed here, it's actually drying the swamp behind it. So when the ship comes down to a somewhat level base again, it's still kind of in the swamp, but now the swamp is a lot more solid.
Very cool.
And yeah, the front of the ship is all kinds of muddy. Somebody's definitely gonna have to clean that the viewport there. But dent-wise, damage-wise, it doesn't look too bad. It's actually kind of unclear as to why it crashed in the first place. It doesn't look like it was attacked by any of these potential Yuuzhan Vong. I mean, maybe just the engines somehow failed. It would be a horrible thing to have happened, but stranger things have happened.
Well, that is one problem solved.
I'm gonna start rooting around inside the ship to see what contents are available.
Anyone know how to fix the ship? And run it?
Alright, now that Don has activated his once-a-year time travel ability to borrow some money and purchase a low-level magic item, we discover inside the ship an extensive collection of magical whips. Somebody on this ship was into some kinky shit.
Oh yeah, let me grab one of those.
Of course, just kidding. That would have been hilarious, though. I waste my once-a-year ability, and this is what I get. Fuck!
Yeah, I know. Come on, people.
Damn it! What the fuck did I do wrong?
There are a few crates of supplies still remaining on the ship. It does look like we haven't really gotten her name yet, but in the process of other conversation, we do learn her name is Stella. It does appear that Stella has already gotten most of everything out of the ship, minus the bodies themselves, which, due to the laws of gravity, are pretty much all in a nice gelatinousified heap in the cockpit, so it's a little unpleasant up there.
The Earth Elemental can make himself smaller and pull stuff out unless people want to touch that stuff.
And then for its final act, you give it a mop and a bucket.
Thankfully, I'm not getting hit, so it's just going to do what I want and then fade away.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, the elemental can certainly assist in that regard as well. There are certain levels of cleanliness that it is unable to tend to, so depending on your character's
for sure.
gag factor or personal preferences, you may wish to tend to that of your own accord. But as far as whether the ship is still operational, it is not. And as far as what exactly is wrong with it is going to be the result of some mechanics checks. If your character does not currently have the mechanics skill on their character sheet, I do believe you can add that manually onto your sheet. Maybe not in the obvious sense. Let me check. Used to be
I'm thinking that cockpit won't bother me too much.
for sure.
And as the Earth Elemental is essentially pulling humanoid sludge out, is there any detect magic going on within the sludge?
Now that's just gross.
Oh man. There likely is.
Goo is magical.
Yeah. Look at, I found Meridian's foot. It's technically a one half of a boots of springing and striding, but it's just jellified Meridian's foot. Still,
Is there a whip inside?
it doesn't.
Mage Hand will pull out any magical items, because, yeah.
Right. It doesn't seem that there's any way to add skills to the sheet, so what I recommend is adding tool proficiencies and custom skills off to the left side underneath your passive perception. So in this case, I'm going to add one for Theron. Nobody would be proficient in it, although I don't think there's any way to do anything less. So it is by default an intelligence attribute, although the 5e mechanics do allow for some fluctuation if for some way you want to make a case for why your strength or dexterity or charisma somehow lends itself to mechanics in this situation or others.
What about hitting with a large hammer?
How about
Kind of
wisdom?
strength.
So there's one for Theron right there. I just added mechanics. He's proficient in it. You can't really do anything less than that, like I was saying. And then intelligence as the attribute.
Horrible roll. Can I use an inspiration to re-roll that?
Sure, sure.
What about wisdom? I mean, common sense to mechanics.
Better.
It's certainly possible on a case-by-case basis, so you can plug that in.
What about dexterity for fine motor skills to try to get into things?
Likewise.
And I forget, was the minor bonuses plus something?
Correct. Those are your hero points. They add a die 6, and then your major bonus is the inspiration itself.
I think I had some of those.
I feel like we should bury some of these bodies or something.
The goo?
Or I don't know, do something respectful for the dead.
What was the minor one?
Let me see. Did you have them added onto your character sheets?
I did. I had, well, not on my sheet. I have a list of 1 hero point, but I have a major and a minor, and according to Discord and what I tracked.
Right. Yeah, let me do.
Oh, you're doing things.
Bum-bum. Bum-bum. There you go. Now you have hero points. The actual block
No,
off
yeah.
to the
Okay.
side, and
There we
in
go.
The Discord. Go ahead, Don.
We could use a global skill modifier, call it not proficient, and then just put it negative to what our proficiency bonus would be.
Yeah, that totally works as well, because you can add in the miscellany modifier. Pin messages. Yes. Why is that what it is? So yeah, Westy's got the major minor, so yeah, yours is set up
Okay,
perfectly.
so I'll go ahead and do that as well. So 18.
Okay.
That's for intelligence of how does this thing work? Where's the manual?
So my 20 for mechanics for getting in there and getting small parts and things like that working.
Ooh, there's a tutorial data disc. You plug it in and you watch how to repair this ship by some dude named Anakin Skywalker. And throughout learning
Let's fire that up.
about through the process of learning about how to repair this ship, it is definitely an older vessel, the Dragon Lotus, and its accompanying shuttles. But collectively amongst your group, you do have some pretty good results here, so we can definitely figure out a good deal.
And if the
Intelligence,
batteries
wisdom.
need jump start, I do have a little bit of lightning that I can throw at it.
Nice. That is definitely one of the issues. So it is nice that we have a solve on that. Another one is that the engine itself is going to need an extensive deep cleaning. It's spent enough hours in the muck that it's not going to fire with all of that nastiness in there. I mean, shit, there's probably fucking fish swimming around in there. Amongst other things, you might find a Dianoga with your luck. But between your dexterity, your intelligence, your wisdom, the collective efforts of the group, we do believe that a dead battery, a dirty engine, and it also appears that the flight stabilizers on both sides of the vessel are currently deactivated, which is extremely suspicious, because that would have caused this ship to just spiral uncontrollably once it entered atmosphere. Because that, I mean, the fucking people on board are counting on those fucking stabilizers to keep themselves alive. And 7 out of 9 dead and an erratic crash, this certainly seems to kind of... Ding! You may have discovered what just happened to this vessel.
I don't know why it crashed.
And that does also give us our 3 necessary repairs to potentially get this this baby operational again.
Did you want me to spend a lightning bolt spell on that, or would just throwing cantrips into it be enough?
Throwing the cantrips into it should suffice,
Okay.
but you'll want to make sure the engine is cleaned first, otherwise
Yep.
it could cause additional issues.
Yeah, does your spells clean the engine?
Technically, it could, because it would remove soil and stuff. Just magically make it go away. Might take a minute, good bit of
Right.
time.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Some of it you actually need to see what you're doing, but also
Mhm.
some of it, due to the magical nature of it, you can just kind of assume or imagine the design of the engine in your head and kind of clean out those crevasses and what have you that you can't necessarily see.
I could also summon a familiar, which would take time, but summon a tiny little familiar that could get into those nooks and crannies so that I could see and cast through it.
For sure.
What, like my imp? And my imp pops up behind you. Do
I
look like
assume
Liver?
smaller.
Like what? Rat size? And
Like
he
a caterpillar.
transforms into a rat.
like an insect size, like
You
It
make
shouldn't be
bugs?
necessary. If
Yeah.
the initial cleaning of the engine and fixing the stabilizers and firing it up doesn't do it, then maybe we go to those lengths. But
yeah.
you think you got enough ammunition at your belt here?
Can I easily just get to it and just start cleaning, with a rag?
Yeah, absolutely. The traditional method works just as well, while he's also kind of sitting at a 5-10 feet back and just kind of sweeping back and forth, doing the prestidigitation cleaning. And in that respect, let's see. Everybody roll perception.
Nope, I'm cleaning.
So there's enough activity going on here and enough chitter-chatter between the different members of the party as you're trying to get the ship operational that it kind of explains why some people in the group don't necessarily notice this. It is also maybe an eighth of a mile, quarter mile maybe at the most, out through this jungle, so there is a lot of trees and shit blocking line of sight. But Veridar and Kai both notice out in the distance what appears to be an armored transport moving through the jungle. It appears to be on some kind of repulsor lift, so it's not necessarily crashing through the brush as much as it would if it were a land vehicle.
Towards us?
It's not heading directly towards you. It's actually kind of heading along your side. Like you're looking at it and it's heading off somewhere to the south. So if it continues on this current path, it's not going to intersect you at all. But to see anything out here is definitely kind of weird.
I nod and I'm like, hey, this is interesting. Maybe we should just keep an eye on it.
Yeah, looks like we got some company in the forest, guys.
About how far out are we from getting this thing cleaned and ready to take off? If it's going to.
Oh, probably hours still.
Yeah, this is still a
Gotcha.
mess. I guess
And
this is a
they're-
good point.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, this is a good point to mention that I actually am pretty good in forests and swamps.
Very cool.
Can you two see what kind of markings, unit markings, or loyal allegiance that group might have? Or did you just see them approaching?
You did not see any markings on it, but it did have a distinctive military air about it, being an armored transport of some type, and many in your group encountered vehicles very similar to this in the last few missions.
I'm pretty sure it's some kind of military vehicle.
I'm gonna send Flash, which is the name of my imp, out to investigate, and we have Pact of the Chain. So we also have, where the hell are you?
No, there's only one proper way to summon your familiar to the field of battle, right? You gotta go Flash.
Right.
Savior
So
of
he's
the
gonna fly out
universe.
invisibly.
Banana. You're gonna do what now? Do what now?
I'm sending my imp out to go investigate, and I have telepathic communication as long as we're on the same plane of existence.
All right. Little do you know that 5 trees into the jungle, it enters the border ethereal, and you have lost your imp a mere few minutes after getting it. But because our Sunday Group 2 is all adventuring in the border ethereal, will reappear there. No, that's a little bit too crazy. As you send the imp after this vessel, it is apparent very quickly, especially based on the dude sitting in the turret on the top in his distinctive purge armor. This appears to be a division of Colonel Starr's influence.
Aw, man. I'm going back to cleaning the engine.
Apparently Colonel Starr is a lot more dedicated to our eradication than I would have thought. Since he tracked us all the way to this kind of a planet.
That's unfortunate.
Who?
But all we have to do is encounter him, throw a few volleys back and forth, flee, and then we can get another level.
Just keep
Actually, you
doing
think
this.
he'll leave the transport unattended this time?
Well, that's assuming he's with it, and it could just be the transport. But if it's Star himself, then
One
we'd
thing that
likely be in trouble.
One thing that you do notice as you're continuing to watch this thing through the imp's perception, it is still heading away from your group, and it doesn't appear to be on like a perimeter sweep. It's heading directly on a beeline with purpose, as opposed to kind of zigzagging through the jungle as though searching for something.
Oh, apparently he knows what he's looking for, and he's heading directly towards it. What it is, I don't know yet.
But he's coming our way. Right?
Nope, heading away from
Oh.
you.
Anyway,
Yeah, he was always kind of heading
We're good for now.
perpendicular, and now it's just heading directly away.
I don't know who this guy is, but do we really want him to find whatever it is he's looking for?
I was gonna say,
Can
at
we
the
let-
very least, whoever's not working on the ship, like to get it fixed, could go tail the person.
We got a lot
Just
of
make
wings.
sure we do it stealthy, okay? Just remember what happened last time.
I wasn't here, so I have no idea who the hell this guy is.
He's a
Basically-
power armored crazy fanatic who raged and took a building and tanks going after him.
He's also a Sith Lord.
Well, I mean, I could have.
We don't know that. That's metagaming. Jeez.
Oh, he is he? I
He's
think
a
I might need to
Sith Lord.
talk to this motherfucker.
I mean, I could have the familiar follow him, and relay the information. But once he gets to his destination, it'll take us a lot longer to get there if we don't kind of help.
Tuki would volunteer to go with the imp, and that way at least one of us are there, and then you can communicate with the imp if anything goes wrong.
When something goes wrong, of course.
I like how you said when.
Yeah, right? I was trying to say if. Jesus.
No,
When
I don't know.
I just know too well. It's the when that when things start turning pear-shaped.
Does any of our spellcasters, are any of you able to cast the invisibility spell?
Not one that would last. I have a battle invisibility. It's not good for traveling.
I have invisibility, spells, but I have very few spell options.
I'm just very stealthy.
You did
And I
say
think
you
I
were
have,
good
I think I am the only one that
in
has
the
our
forest
that
and
has
swamps,
healing
though.
magic.
He might be stealthy, but I don't know how stealthy you can be moving at the speed of that thing.
And they were
Mm.
so able to see through magical darkness and detect magic. They had numerous capabilities when we fought them. So
Yeah, I don't think turning invisible would be that great anyway.
I'm not sure on its effectiveness against them. It might be something if they don't know to watch for it that they don't have, but that is a chance. We could also, I mean, we could let them go, but they're clearly going after something.
And like I said,
Right.
I don't know
I
who
think it
this guy
starts
is.
with them. We're not long for the world, no matter what.
I don't know who he is, but I don't know if
He took a
we
literal
want him to
dwarf,
get.
spiked dwarfing hundreds of feet.
I don't know if we want him to get to where to find what he's looking for. It might be important to him.
We couldn't stop him if he was there. If it's just his lackeys, we have a chance. And if it's just his lackeys, I would propose we all go, but it's uncertain whether it is just them.
We won't
I'm-
know unless you
so,
can get
I mean-
inside the vehicle.
I mean, the
No,
worst,
because
I do have the robe of stars, so I can just go to a different plane for a while.
the problem is that we also had he was able to see through my magical darkness, some of his people, so they do have senses that far surpass our current abilities to stay stealthy.
So let's just send the imp and then see who's there, if he's there, and if he's not there, then we can figure it out from there.
And if they discover the imp, that imp is pretty much dead.
I'm sorry?
Well, I believe
Oh.
the imp
He was a very important member of the party who we knew for almost
He brought
80
back.
minutes. Sorry?
I mean, he's not getting. He's getting close enough for them to actually, and he's not making himself a nuisance enough, like several of our members of our party were, to be able to sort of create that issue.
Don't you think they might find it a little suspicious that an imp is following them? Here.
They would have to see the imp. I think it's more that the imp would get detected when they stop. But if the... How about this? The imp follows by itself if you can communicate with it. And if they find something, Star is with them. And when they run back to the city, that's when we ambush them. They take a pathway, but that is where I'm making an assumption here, where the spaceport is. And they're likely the military barracks if they have one. So two birds, one stone kind of thing. We played it safe by not confronting Star again, and then stopping them from getting whatever it might have been after we know.
But if this guy is there in there, we're just gonna let him take what he came for?
We're not a match for him.
We may not be able to defeat him, but we might be able to keep him from getting whatever it is he's looking for.
Unlikely. We were a much larger party when we confronted him the first time, and that did not go well.
Oh, sweet. Look what Kai brought with her. Yeah!
Yeah.
I took this with me, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like,
Oh,
"Ooh."
yeah, that was the tank. That's right.
I just created the attack block for it.
She was
because-
wondering what it was. I was like, was that the Star Wars blaster? Because she didn't say the stats. Like, oh yeah, the tank.
I can follow along with the imp, I suppose.
Yeah, we've got some
I
wings
I
in the
won't
group
stop
for
you.
sure. We got Tuki, we got the Imp, we got Veridar.
I've got various forms I can take.
Hey, is that within range?
Is what within range?
Is the transport within range of the blaster cannon?
Oh jeez.
Shoot it already.
Oh, you're funny. So, what are we looking
if
at?
some go, I think we all go. But otherwise, I just propose the imp.
If I'm understanding
Yeah.
this correctly, is this the divide we're looking at with Theron kind of off in the NPC realm?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll go into misform and follow the imp.
So yeah, I mean, Westy does have a point if we're sending half the party.
Well, yeah, let's send the entire party.
Is
Let's
that-
all go.
Might as well, huh? Well, okie
Theron,
dokie then.
We can leave Theron here to along with Yordle to keep cleaning and prepping the ship. So that
Sure.
it's ready in case of, I guess.
Sounds like a good plan, and Yordle is happily level 5 now, so our companion from the Deck of Many Things is already starting to advance, and who knows, maybe cleaning a swamp-filled shuttle here will be the key to level 6. Probably not. You never know. But,
Have we ever had a Deck of Many Things companion survive?
We've had a few. I remember
all of them dying.
a few of them have perished. I know Justin did very well with his in the Pinnacle campaign. I know Mike, back when I had the Ultra deck that reset the cards the instant they were drawn. And this crazy motherfucker was like, I'm going to draw 9 cards. Or whatever it was.
3 fucking followers.
And he got 3 followers. And because his character's name was Red, he named them Black, White, and Gray, I think it was, whatever the case was. And they were all like half golems, because that was his character's thing. Like, he was a manipulator of dead flesh, not quite a necromancer, but kind of. So he had like these 3 flesh golems, and then one of them, he drew the rogue card, so I thought it was brilliant to have one of his 3 companions like the traitor to the group, so that was fun. But we wish Yordle the best of luck here, of course, as our group takes off in pursuit of the Colonel Starmobile, now heading further east into the jungle. And it is only a short distance away, maybe about 15-minute pursuit away from where your shuttle has crashed, that you find where this transport is in fact headed to. And if you had to guess, this appears to be an old mine of sorts. There are train tracks that lead out of the only obvious opening in the side of this rocky mount. The tracks lead maybe a quarter mile outside of this entrance, and you can see there are a few transports here, not attack armored transports like the one that you've been tailing here. These appear to be more just transport vehicles themselves, designed to load and carry as much as possible. And you're not certain what it is that they are trying to get out of this mine. At the current moment, you do see a few carts being wheeled out along the tracks, and some rather heavy crates, by the looks of them, being loaded onto hover platforms that are then remote controlled into the backs of these large cargo vehicles. It seems that there are probably 20-25 workers out here, supervised by 4 of the Purge troopers that you have so recently had the joy of their company over the last several weeks here on Monday nights. And as far as what is inside the caves, we're not quite sure, of course. But we do have potential additional scouting methodology here going forward. And probably some strategy to be designed by your characters here over our 10-minute break here or so. So I'm going to send it to that BRB screen, and as usual, I'll be listening in to any strategies that you may be designing for how we're going to approach this next situation, if at all. If it is just kind of like, man, what the fuck ever, we're going to go back and fix the ship, that's optional too, but we will see you shortly, friends.
Do you have a map that you can show?
I do not. This is still all currently theater of the mind.
Okay, I'm gonna go take my quick walk. I'll be back hopefully before this is up.
Anyone else think this mine is probably filled with kyber crystals?
I was thinking
probably.
that, which is why I want to go in.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely some sort of probably power source or something like that. Residuum / kyber crystal, like the same. If there's only 4 or 5 purge troopers, he said 4 or 5. Right?
Sorry, I need a refresher. Did he say that there were people, or were the machines like actually going in and out of the mine?
He said there was
workers.
20 to 25 workers. Yeah, 20 to 25 workers,
I think
and I'm
4,
pretty sure he said 4 to 5.
4 to 5. purge troopers were the
Yeah.
bosses.
Yep.
I wonder if there's a way we
Which
can make
4 or
ourselves
5
look like
purge
workers.
troopers are easy. Actually, yes, I can. But they would likely see right through it because of their sensors. They saw through numerous types of magic.
Plus, we can also get us ourselves a transport.
Yeah, but that doesn't really it's off the planet. But it might have some weapon or something for us to take.
Oh, or we could scavenge parts for our ship.
Yeah. I seem to recall him mentioning before that there was like some central hub that all of our ships kind of went back to on occasion, which was kind of another way that we knew who kind of worked the same organization of ships. So I think that's probably where we want to head to once we deal with whatever the heck this mine is.
Well, that's off planet though, right? That's not on this planet.
Yeah, that's getting the shuttle functional and getting the hell out of here.
Didn't they say there was 2 shuttles on the Lotus?
Yes, they said they don't know whether it took off or not. They weren't. Stella was not sure whether it took off or before the ship was destroyed.
Should we look for it?
Where would we look?
I don't know, but there's a chance somebody else is still alive.
Do we care about anyone else?
Well, you know.
I
We're
don't know, I
not.
still
We're not
feel
all
kind-
good guys here. You know that too. So we're not all great. The
I
greatest.
don't
of
know
people,
that.
so-
I've never. Maridar has never been with the Monday group.
But I mean, we're all mercenary, adventure hire, paid hire. So it's a wide discrepancy of people.
And we did kill a lot of people
I
in
mean,
that bar.
We know where Meridian is. What was that?
We did kill a lot of people in that bar.
Yeah, we did. We killed a lot of.
But Star also
There was
killed
all-
quite a few people too. Henceforth, why
Well-
we don't like each other.
Well, Star is evil, so you know. Apparently.
I think that's a pretty much a given thing. I'm assuming anyone who didn't was kind of rounded up and killed or sent to labor camps and shit. Like, yeah, we saw the military like just going ham on these adventurers for no reason. It was freaking crazy. They tried to surrender. Yeah, all the people in that area are dead.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Why are we the ones being punished?
Well, we did kind of mess up the mission. The whole don't talk to Star. I'm gonna go sit in his bar. Let's not talk to Star. I'm going to follow Star.
Hey, I just appeared here and I'm in whatever shit you guys are in. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Also, didn't Veridar die?
Yes, he died once.
His head exploded.
Yep. Trying to save other people.
Okay. the icon changing. I was like, wait, is that the
That'll teach
same
my ass to self-help people.
that had his head explode?
Yeah, I think Varador is gonna be like, yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
I
helping
saw.
other people. Fuck that shit. I don't need my head exploding anymore.
I'll be honest, I actually have no idea what to do here. I'm like, do we go in? Do we just kind of watch? Do we go back to the ship and be like, yeah, well, okay. It's just a mine.
I mean,
So
I'm of
want
the
those
opinion if
crystals.
Star's not there, well, I don't really care about crystals. If it's associated with Star, which it seems to be, I'm fine with throwing middle fingers at him by killing his people. Maybe not the workers, because I assume those are forced labor slaves. But the purge troopers, yeah, fuck them. They're toast.
Yeah, because we generally held our own with the troopers. It was mostly just
yeah.
Star that we had the hardest time with.
Yeah, and it was their numbers, 30 of them.
You got that cannon?
I mean, what are they going to do? Court-martial us?
Well, we're not in the military. You can't court-martial us. You have to be a member of the military to be court-martialed.
You got the cannon.
I don't think she has the cannon.
I have the cannon.
that was the literal tank.
I mean,
Oh, well,
technically
then I
you
have the
have
tank with the cannon, because I do have it. It's right there.
You were driving a tank. That's how you were able to fire that.
It's still in
That's-
my inventory.
I guess you're still driving a
Still
tank.
in mine, too. I say we just go and blow it up.
Well, the problem is we'd hit the workers, and we don't want to do that.
Do we care?
I mean,
A
I'm
little
not
bit.
against
That
trying
was
to
the
save
question
them,
right there.
but-
Do we care? I don't know if you guys care or not.
I care more about killing the purge troopers than I do saving the civilians.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean-
I
Yeah,
don't
but
want
do
to
you
push
care
the
if they
bill.
die?
I wouldn't lose sleep over it because I mean, again, in my mind, we sentenced that entire district area we were in to death. They're all dead in my mind. So, 20 to 25 people.
Again,
But
so do we care
I'm
if
not
any
going
of the
out of my
workers
way to
get
kill
killed?
Care. Now, will I lose sleep? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're reading too much into it. I think most of us are like, we'll try to. It's not that we're saving them, it's just that we're killing the people that are keeping them there. So.
Exactly. So why?
But they will
do we
definitely all
care
die
if
if they
you-
raise a weapon.
If you shoot them with the cannon?
I was just thinking, though, maybe we could do something a little bit more like, hey, let's kind of get the people, hey, let's get the purge troopers all in one area so we can just, hit them.
It's like that
Yeah, I
incredible
think we
Q
just-
meme. You saved us. More like under new management.
Hello.
Welcome back.
We could always
Yeah,
use.
I think I'm in favor of just going after the purge troopers however we can, spring the attack on them if we can. And just, unload as, all get out on them.
As long as I get some of those crates.
So we're gonna try an ambush on the purge troopers, and hopefully the workers know what's best for them.
I think that's more
Yeah.
or less most of us are thinking.
Well,
That's what I was hearing.
at the moment, the troopers seem more concentrated on the interior, i.e., they've all got their backs to you, Those that don't have their backs to you are on the far side of this scene as you're approaching it. So either you're out of view, or they're just too focused on what's going on the tracks, and not necessarily so much thinking that people are approaching from outside.
Do they look like the super competent ones or the semi-competent ones?
Well, they are wearing the purge armor, so those were the ones that were a bit more competent than the stormtroopers. But there are only 4 of them.
In the ones that are on the outside, they're kind of standing way away from.
Say what?
Sorry, I think my internet is being weird. The troopers that are standing away, like the 2 that are on the outside, they're a bit away, kind of on the perimeter, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, I think we could take them out.
All nice and stealthy, right?
Of course. I mean, how else would we want to take them out? Just stand there yelling, "Hey, Mr. Colonel, come and get us"?
Is
I
there? I can potentially eliminate 2 at once if we want me to try it. With banishment.
But
Or how far out are we from where the perimeter troopers are?
It's about a repeat of the scene from earlier when we were approaching the down shuttle.
Okay,
about
100
150
feet, 100 plus feet. Okay.
Right.
I
As
need
you...
to be much closer to that.
Correct. Just to answer the text chat, Veridar is still suffering from the res penalties, but 1 less than he was previously. But then, as we are continuing to formulate our approach here... Uh-oh! I felt like I had a sneeze attack coming on there, but it seems to have abated. It may still come back, because I kind of feel it like right up in here, and it's like trying to do its thing. But as you're formulating your strategy here, all of a sudden there are some screams and shouts from inside the cave, and the cart that is currently being pushed out just tips over. And the people, the workers who are accompanying that cart are running for their lives, and one of them is just instantly ripped to shreds before your eyes by a pair of Nexu. The ferocious, multiple-eyed, and super sharp fanged and clawed, but kind of adorable at the same time, cats from Star Wars Episode 2 from the Geonosis Arena. 2 of them have exited this cave and are now attacking anything and everything in sight. This causes a 2-fold response from the workers. Run for the fucking hills, which is pretty much any way away from the cave. And from the 4 purge troopers, let us begin a conjoined offense on these Nexu. And from the Nexu, one of them continues its pursuit into the jungle after a handful of the workers. The other charges up at the 4 purge troopers. They're not all clustered together, of course, but it's now laying into them as best as it is able, while from above, your group is kind of like, oh, alright.
What was in the carts?
It looks like some kind of soil, and like, maybe meteorite? Like some kind of thick rocks, iridium, maybe?
I'm good with seeing how this plays out.
Yeah, I want a
And
couple
then
of
just
those crates.
cleaning up whatever mess
Shouldn't
is
we
remaining?
save some of the workers, though? They don't have anything to do with that.
I
Well,
would, except that would give up our location.
those. I mean, I assume they're running away from where we are, and that the creature's already chasing a few of them, not all of them. So,
You're willing to let them be sacrificed. I understand.
Yes.
No, Tuki would help. I'm still neutral good, so I just can't let innocent people die.
I think I might be able to hit it with a longbow here. From this distance.
How far away is that thing from us?
The Nexu that is engaging the Purge Troopers is anywhere between 150, 250 feet, depending on the ebb and flow of combat. The one that pursued workers into the jungle is already out of sight, as are the workers. So that would require a manual pursuit. But there are still some workers within line of sight that were not pursued by the Nexu. Those ones were the fortunate few who did not have others following them, and thus prompting from the Nexu, ooh, look! 6 of them together! I'll go after that! So a few of them are still kind of...
Pursuit.
Right. Some of them are hiding now that they're however many meters out and seemingly out of the fray.
Well,
I think
a couple of us can go
wants to chase after the
follow.
one that is chasing the ones.
Yeah, if we follow after that, then that would also take us a little further away from the Purge Troopers, which would keep us undercover while we kill this thing.
And after we're done killing this thing, one of the 2 of them has done enough damage to the other one to make them both easy to take out.
That sounds about
I
right.
think I'll stay watching the Purge Trooper fight to ensure that it ends in our favor.
But otherwise, everybody
Alright.
else is going off after the Nexu and the retreating workers.
Yep. So
Yeah.
the Imp is flying at 40, and he's going to go pretty much faster because he's also invisible and could be a little higher. So he's taking
I also
off.
have 40 speed, and then I also don't get impaired by any terrain, pretty much, like forest or swamp.
Oh, super
Yeah,
cool.
I have 60 if I'm flying. So.
Woo! Well, that's
Yeah, I
definitely
fly
the
at 30,
fastest
so-
there. The Nexu has a 50 speed,
90.
but it is impacted by other things. That's not including your T3, though, right?
Oh, do I lose that?
Yeah, because that
Then I'm at-
expired, brother.
I thought I'd get that permanently. How rude. Okay, so I lose that 30, so I'm at 60.
Yeah, so you and Tuki are about the same. Well, you both fly, so you're fine. The Nexu's got the best ground speed, but it is impaired by any difficult terrain, so Kai does kind of make up for that in that respect. Otherwise...
And actually,
Oh, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, it says that like it helps the whole group. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
right. Yeah, when you are actively assisting the group through that kind of difficult terrain, any others would benefit from your expertise. In this case, I think it would only apply to Asilatem since he's the only other ground character and he's not going with you. Everybody else flies. You're just kind of like, hey guys, all right, bye.
We got the
Assholes.
whole bleeding Air Force with us.
You guys couldn't have freaking brought me along with you? Did somebody have like a flying carpet or some broomsticks? Oh, that was the Tuesday group.
Yeah, we all have rooms of
They all
fly-
bought up the
rooms of
freaking.
flying.
Yeah, they all bought up the inventory on Tuesday night to challenge the Ultra Dracolich. We'll see how that goes next week, though. In the meantime, what we can see, we meaning Asilatem of the Nexu versus Purge Troopers fight, it is a quick and bloody affair. One Purge Trooper is just completely disemboweled, and bits of gore and midnight armor just go scattering in 2 different directions as the Nexu beams a bright smile as it goes charging towards the next Purge Trooper, And between the three of them, they are able to stun it and then barrage it to a point where it is now very, very injured. For those of you chasing into the jungle, let's get an initiative roll here and see just how quickly you're able to address the issue. Looks like we got it then. 4 spots there, and the Nexu beat every one of you, and every one of you beat all of the workers. So it's either the best or the worst way this could have gone for the initiative.
Means there's going to be no workers to risk.
Well, at least a few less, as there are some screams, blood-curdling screams to be specific, coming from within the jungle as the Nexu claims its first victims. And Veradar, as you are hustling in open space above the battlefield, fortunately the Purge troopers are otherwise preoccupied and do not open fire on you, so your turn, as it were.
I'm gonna land on the back of the Nexu and dig my claws into his back.
Well, that is a hit and a very pissed off Nexu. And you can drop that -4 down to a -3, in fact. We did get one mechanical long rest out of the narrative passing there, so you would get the benefits of that. But otherwise, that is a hit, even with the -4. Got the damage. Squealing Nexu that is very pissed off at you, and maybe seeking retribution, assuming it is alive, on its next turn. Gotcha there, Westy. Okay. Twinkle Toes. Oh, you got another attack there. That's a miss on the second one.
That's it, because I do not have a bonus, because I already used my bonus. Oh, wait, no, wait, I do get one more attack.
Of course you do. 2 attacks is not the way you normally go. Look at that! You missed, though!
Yep.
Another one!
That's because I landed on him. Alright, I'm done.
Alright. Let's pass it over to Twinkles.
All right, how close do I get to it during this chase?
Close enough to affect it. Whether that's
All right,
melee
so-
or ranged, whatever the case may be.
All right, so I'm going to strike it with my whip, and because there's a ally within 5 feet of it, I get my sneak attack on it.
Not like that.
Or, yeah.
Or I fumble
as
the
my-
whip over a branch of a tree, it wraps around my neck, and I create my own nooses.
No, let's not do that. And then the imp is going to fly over, and it's going to stab it with its tail.
Alright. Outdone by your familiar there.
Yeah. The imp had a better luck with his whip.
Oh, made it save though.
No, it didn't. Save a 17.
Well, the 16 is just naturally on the die. I didn't put in the modifiers.
Shh. He didn't make the save. Oh,
okay.
He takes 5 piercing.
Well, and then half the poison, so still respectable
True.
damage.
Okay.
And if that's it for you,
That'll
we
be the
will
end of
pass
turn.
it to Kai.
All right. I'm just gonna go ahead and roll for attack.
Oh no! What is happening?
And you hit Ben.
Oh!
I mean, technically that wouldn't be a bad thing because he could catch it and then stab it. He's a monk, right?
Redirect.
That would be ideal. And for the second attack.
Big money, big money. There you go.
There we go. Much better.
So 10 damage plus. What do we got there? 12 from Dawn. 12 from Ben, or is it 10? Did you go into rage?
Mr. Owl, did you go into barbarian rage?
See, Ben is a monk, barbarian, sorcerer of bards.
You're about to send me into barbarian rage if you don't fucking answer me. Do it now! Alright, I'm going to guess he's not. He's too calm to be in rage. So,
See, that's what you get for having push to talk. I wasn't here. Yes, that's what I used my bonus action on.
alright then. So 2 extra points of damage.
Well, this thing is in prime killing position as Tuki's turn comes up. So let's see if you can save the remaining 4 workers here before this thing gets another turn.
Okay, I'm going to use my Thorn Whip to attempt to pull it back 10 feet.
Cool. Exactly a hit. It is large, so it is pulled away as intended. Damage is not the greatest, though. Do you have any follow-up on top of that?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, this thing is definitely mortally wounded here and not going to survive many more strikes, if even one more. But considering where we are at here, it is going to turn on Veridar. The 18 results in a 22 to hit, the 8 a 12.
The 22 will hit.
Alright, so that is a claw attack that is going to deal a vicious 7 points of slash. And that might just be the last move this Nexu ever makes. You did distract it from taking its 2 attacks on these workers who are... 2 of them are still running for their lives, not quite aware what's happening behind them. The other 2 have kind of stopped to observe, but also hide and hopefully catch their breaths. as Veridar's turn comes up. Oh, that damn -3. You would have missed with the 13 anyway, but... Sheet. What else you got? Don't!
Even worse.
Come
Nothing.
on.
Just holding on, I guess.
Didn't you have a third attack?
No, only when I use my. Remember when I use my claws, I get 2 attack. I get 2 attacks with the first attack, but I
Gotcha,
did not
gotcha.
use my claws. I tried something else and it didn't work.
Well, okay. Let's see if Don has something other than a natural 1 this round.
All right, so I'm gonna cast Booming Blade, which
Boom.
basically I roll my normal attack. If it moves before, if I hit, and it moves before the end of my next turn, then it takes more damage. So let me take my whip attack first.
No way!
Wait. Hold on a second. What the hell is going on?
Plus
Yeah, that
11
was
to
a
hit.
bad investment, Don. I don't think that whip is good for you.
It's cursed.
You
This is
got a
cursed.
fake +1 whip.
Yeah, I know. It's
a
like
whip
holy
minus
crap.
1.
Yeah, the 1 on it means that it only rolls 1s.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm looking at it going, but the attack base is 11.
I know, and I keep rolling a 12.
I'm going to use. Do I have an inspiration from?
You do from T3.
All right.
Oh, he's not a T3.
No, but
Oh.
he is a HTTV thingy watcher.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I will
let's
use
just
that
see.
in.
Yeah,
Do I
got
have an
major
inspiration from
and
that?
9 minors.
All right, I'm going to use my major and get the 17.
All right, it is going to parry and add 12 to its armor class. You still miss. No, just kidding. It is dead. And it goes down quite suddenly as you finish it off. And you can still hear blaster fire from the jungle clearing back where Selatem is still watching this one Nexu lay into one Purge Trooper while 2 others are firing at it from a distance.
How far away are the 2 Purge Troopers from it?
The ones that are firing at a distance maybe like 20, 30 feet out.
Okay, cool.
And it does appear to be getting to that stage that you have your action ready for.
Okay. Chain Lightning. I'm going to target. Where is the where is their transport in relation to the dude who's in front of the Nexu? Like, is that within 30 feet? Would you say?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like to like the main person is. I mean, it doesn't matter really because it splits off. The main target is that dude who's right in front of the Nexu, and then it's going to split to the other 2 shooting along with their transport, and they have to do dex saves. And I would ask, do they have disadvantage or not advantage depending on their crazy suits and powers because it's just coming out of the blue?
They do still get advantage from their suits, as that's more of a automatic sensory thing they don't really control. It's almost like the suit kind of assists them move out of the way whether they know it or not.
Gotcha.
But the Nexu, of course, does not benefit from that.
Well, I
just
didn't
see.
target the Nexu
Gotcha.
because I targeted. Well, I guess I could, but
Right.
I'm not going to. I'm gonna give it an advantage against these things.
Good God.
Oh.
Good golly. Oh, wait, there's only 3 of them still alive, so the first 3. Jeez.
Well, there's also the the boat went into the transport, right?
Yeah, there's one
Yeah.
that's going into the transport as well.
Okay, well, the transport does not have a +8 to the save, so we'll take that 5 and.
So it's
it
going
fails.
to be 40 damage because I got the resistance feat,
Okay.
and then half of that, so 20 damage to each of them.
Alrighty. Well, these are definitely not the 501st troops
Oops,
that Colonel has deployed to this location, as even 20 points appears to be enough to short out their systems and smolder them within and send a nice char of black smoke puffing out of the armor as all 3 of them just fall.
Oh. Can that last one hit the next two then?
Yeah?
Alright, then it'll hit the next two.
Instead of the
Yes, it could.
transport? Or
Oh, no,
also?
sorry. Yeah, no, I want to hit the transport. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Next
but-
two's still alive. He's
Okay.
just probably going to eat.
I thought we
Eat a
wanted to
trooper.
save. I thought we wanted to take the transport.
I don't give a shit about transport. That's you.
Well,
I
yeah,
wanna destroy
40,
that shit.
40 points of lightning damage to the transport is enough to at least pretty much ionize it at this stage. And the next who just kind of looks around confusedly like, what the hell just happened? It still doesn't notice you up there.
Yeah, I'll whenever I can, I'll launch some attacks at it.
Alrighty. You do still have the field here. It's kind of looking around and sniffing for any more workers who may be
Oops,
nearby.
that's not what I wanted. We'll go ahead and do my cantrip of this, which will be. That's the damage. Not what I wanted. There we go. 20 to hit for 11 damage.
And that is enough to finish it off. As
Where the
now
hell
our...
did that cantrip come from?
It's reflavored firebolt.
Exactly.
It's like cantrips scale very, very well, so it's just reflavored to lightning.
Exactly.
You're a sorcerer, or
No, I'm a wizard.
uh,
Themed.
So the 2 workers who are not still running into the jungle and have watched your most of your group eliminate this Nexu kind of poke their heads out from hiding. Thank you. Do you know if it's safe? What was that thing?
Yes, you're safe now.
Well, they
What-
both emerge.
What were you guys mining?
Oh, roll a persuasion check on there, and let's see if we can get a straightforward answer here. Or rather, a "fuck you, I don't know you."
Or maybe you should answer me instead.
I thought you had another natural one up your sleeve, to be honest.
You know what? I was figuring that too.
It was just the whip. That's what it was.
that's what I'm saying.
It
I
was
don't
a
think that
cursed
whip was good for you.
Right.
It was
right.
a cursed whip. So be a good man and explain to us what you've been mining down there.
Oh yes, there's a plethora of valuable materials down in this cave below the base. I'm not exactly certain as to all of it, as I'm just a transport loader. I'm not the miner itself, but I have heard tell of iridium as well as adamantite. Something to do with dark matter. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I have heard and read reports detailing this information. As to where it is going, I do know that it transports to the city itself, and then from where it goes there, I'm not certain.
Now, are you doing this voluntarily, or are you being coerced to work these mines.
It's the job assignment for my role in the Core Worlds Confederacy.
No, I'm glad it's gainful employment. I've seen plenty of places where they would, be using slave labor and making it all messy and nasty, and I'm so glad that you're being well taken care of.
Oh, goodness, no. The Core Worlds Confederacy is founded on morals and scruples. I come based out of Corellia myself, but many of the workers here come directly from Coruscant. And we have a long history of faithful service, and we are honored to be part of such an expansive galactic civilization that is not focused on war and bloodshed like those that came before.
Well, you, sir, are truly a prime example of what the Confederacy stands for.
Well, thank you. None of you are... Oh my god! As he watches Veridar take a bite out of the Nexu's neck. None of you are in uniform. What outfit are you with?
Oh no, we're just visitors to this planet. As you can tell from, we are not highly as advanced technically as you and your companions are.
Oh, so you just happened to come upon us then, yes?
Yes, and then we saw the adventure that was going on, and we figured that we would save you as much as possible. The warriors can most likely handle themselves, so we figured that you were the ones who needed our assistance the most.
Well, we do thank you for your timely intervention. I dare say none of us would still be alive if not for you.
Well, it was truly our pleasure. What are you going to do now? Apparently, more of those creatures inside that mine, or are you going to, maybe your companions are dead underground?
It's possible. There have been reports of all manner of ferocious monsters within the mines, but the troopers have usually done a fair job of keeping them at bay.
Is there freelance money available for clearing out some of those monsters?
Maybe. I'm far from the one to speak to about it. I would certainly contact the military or the Imperial Security Bureau back in the city and ask to speak with Colonel Starr. It is possible that he may commission such an assignment, as I know these mines are quite important to him personally. As this is unfortunately a somewhat common occurrence to have the mines shut down to this kind of incident. The standard protocol is I return to the city and receive whatever assignment they have for me tomorrow.
Yes. So, I believe after such a harrowing experience, you and your men should take a time off, stay out here, relax. Let us get a good visual of what the situation is, and that way you have a chance to catch your breath, mourn your losses, and take whatever vengeance on the corpse of that thing that you want to.
I don't know if I want to get near that thing, and you don't know if he's talking about the Nexu or Veridar, who is biting on the corpse. But
most of us don't want to be near Veridar either, so it's just.
Yes, we're going to head back to the city and the spaceport, however, and see what tomorrow holds. You all seem capable enough, so. But in any case, best of luck down there, and may the Force be with you.
Yes, and also with you. whatever that pulse thing is.
Kind of gives you.
In your heads, Veritor says, you know, they might tell whoever this star guy that they saw us here.
Yeah, in your head, yes, but by the time they make any sort of report to him, we'll be gone.
You're certain.
So I'm heading back to the entrance of the mine with my familiar in tow.
Sure. Seems like Veridar's heading back there as well, and Kai and
I'm
Tukey
following
as well.
along.
Cool.
I'll start
Yep,
making my
I'm
way
going
there
back.
as well.
All right. Well, yep, Asilatem is already there, so you've got the lay of the land. A few of the workers return hesitantly to the field. Both of them who do so seem to do so to collect their bags. Like whatever personal gear they left behind in their flight, they're just like, all right, it's over, and knowing out of game the standard protocol that they're going to go back to the spaceport, they're probably just like, well, I don't want to leave my shit behind. I need that for whatever. So they risk a quick foray back onto the Bloodfield battle, grab their shit, and then hustle into the jungle. And then all seems quiet. No workers, no troops. Both of the cargo transports are still just sitting there inactive. There were never any drivers on board, it seems. And the armored transport that you followed here is disabled from the chain lightning blast, just sitting there nearby.
Yeah, it is. Would the cargo on the cargo transports, because you described our shuttle pod as pretty big, would that equate to roughly 20 to 25 people's worth of space? Or more?
Probably more, based
Okay.
on what you're able to see inside of these transports as you start angling your way around the field. It's like, yeah, these things are pretty stocked up. We might be able to empty like a quarter of one of them and fill the shuttle. Of course, leaving room
Okay.
for ourselves as well.
Yes. And we saw none of Meridian's extra bags of holding or anything when we were on the shuttle, did we?
Correct. There may have been some in some of the crates, but we didn't go through all
Somewhere,
of the
yeah.
crates.
Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of take stock of what's here as I'm waiting for the others to approach on to kind of like suss out what's gonna be the most valuable on here.
For sure.
Yeah,
for
let's
sure.
check out what's in the armored transport as well.
Yeah, anything in the cargo transports, the crates as you start going through them, they all appear to be raw minerals, possibly some valuable stuff inside what appears to be worthless stone and soil otherwise. Definitely miner's work, or some process of that will take a considerable time required to find out just what any of these are. As far as the APC itself, as Veridar is one of the first to return to the mine entrance, the only things that are inside of the APC itself are a couple of spare power packs and a blaster rifle.
Oh, well, this thing looks interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna grab it.
All right.
I was like, can we take the blaster rifles off the other troopers that were on the outside?
Yes, indeed. They've each got one. One of them is not destroyed, but it is damaged, but the other three appear to be in perfect working order. And for those adding these onto their character sheets, blaster rifles, of course, work off of your dexterity. Unless you have firearms proficiency, you will not have proficiency in blaster rifles, or pistols for that matter. They do 3d8 damage with no additional modifiers, so it uses your base dexterity for attack, and just straight 3d8 damage, no pluses to that from proficiency or dexterity or anything like that.
Are there any explosives on any of these vehicles?
No explosives. The cannon on the APC itself will probably cause some kind of detonation, considering the power behind it, but of course you gotta have the vehicle operational and somebody manning the cannon itself. I know Kai has experience in that. She has it on her attack block sheet.
If this is a personal, if this is personal to Colonel Starr, maybe we should send him a little note by blowing the mines and having them collapse.
I think we can do just that, and not just collapse it, but before we leave, I believe I could summon another Earth Elemental to just go crazy down in those tunnels, utterly destroying anything in there, making any attempt to get back in there horrendous.
That didn't. I thought you said we all start with firearms proficiency in the open table games.
If you so wish, yes, that was an option.
Okay.
I know some people did not take it because they wanted to be more traditional D&D, bows and arrows, crossbows, etc., but it was an option for anybody to take.
Yep, I did not take it.
And what kind of damage is the blaster rifle?
3d8.
No, I mean I don't type.
Oh, it's just energy.
Just energy?
Yep.
Okay.
But what will you do when you run out of energy packs for that?
I think they use those power packs that they carry around. That's
I
what
mean,
those-
eventually they run out of power, just like you would run out of ammunition from a quiver.
Correct.
Unless you have a dragon bow.
Oh, the dragon bow. Does it create ammunition?
The helmets that the Purge Troopers have, are those... Well, the helmets in the suits, are those magical?
Technomancy, yes. They require a level of armor proficiency beyond even heavy armor. One needs the power armor proficiency for that. Which I don't think anybody has at this stage, nor was it offered for free at the start of the campaign. And because it's a tiered thing, I think you need to have light to have medium, medium to have heavy, and then heavy to have power.
That would make sense, yeah.
So it is possible for
I
characters to go down that route.
I envision them not in
Wouldn't you have to
power
use a
armor, but
feat
in just
to
like-
get that?
Exactly. So it's possible, but it is expensive. And let's have each of you roll an insight check as well, in addition to any other strategies. And go ahead and continue there, Westy.
Let me just get that out of the way.
Oh.
Again, horribly low insight.
The highest insight is the guy who's never been in the group.
So if they're power armor, are they big, bulky suits, or are they like... Because I envision them as not that, just kind of standard armor suit kind of thing.
Correct. The Purge Troopers are very similar to the troopers that we see on the beach in Rogue One on Scarif.
Okay. Okay.
So they're tall and slender. Colonel Starr's armor was like intentionally.
He was straight up power.
Yeah, his was like Robotech. Like he could fucking get
Yeah,
inside of it, and it was like a suit.
Yeah, I thought of him as a Fallout 4 kind of power,
Right,
like
yeah.
Fallout power armor is
Yeah,
how I envision
big
him.
and bulky for him.
Yeah. Okay. Because I assume this is worth money, I'm just gonna start stripping them and throwing this armor into bags of holding.
Cool. That may
And
take
Imp
us
is
a
going to
bit.
start eating some troopers.
Oh my gosh.
Who's eating troopers?
The Imp.
Good hit.
You can have these bodies when I strip the armor.
Or they're nice and cooked for them.
They are very cooked.
Well, we do
Is it
have.
odd that I find that smells good?
A little odd, but it's no judgment here.
You're not human, are you?
No, I'm elf.
Oh, you're an elf, and it smells good to you. Okay, yeah, that might be a little odd. Yet a little.
I wouldn't eat them. I'm just saying.
So with the existing insight rolls, we do have advantage on that for those of us who have been in the group for considerable time. So that does help Tuki and Asilatem achieve much better results than what we see otherwise. And as you're considering the developments of today, is it absolute coincidence that Colonel Starr has a base here on this planet, or was this perhaps intended to be your next mission, and that's why you're just waiting here in standby while the officers debate whatever your next move is and your status, so to speak?
I have no idea what any of that means.
Right, I mean, you're part of the team, so you do know that being here on site definitely is an indicator that, yes, there's a mission incoming. In a few days, we're going to get our assignment, we're going to get our gear, and we're going to be on our way. You're not necessarily part of whatever trouble that this group has gotten themselves into at the Trestke spaceport over the last 6 weeks or so. But for those of the characters who were involved in that stuff, Colonel Starr's presence here in a base that he's in direct command of can't be coincidence, and it's now seeming like, no, he wasn't pursuing you guys to this planet. He is here already, or has a base here that he frequently visits. And perhaps your group's direct involvement with him recently has led to a potential mission involving this base, but now that the Dragon Lotus has been destroyed, who knows what that might have been, if at all. So everything at this moment is very unpredictable. You're kind of on your own as far as, do we get the shuttle operational and just try to get back to a friendly base? Do we try to pursue this thread that's dangling in front of us here that we've already kind of stirred things up with Colonel Starr, and now we're at a base that he directly controls and has shit that's very important to him? Do we not want to fuck with him at all? Like, we got a lot of different options here, so again, I will pass the strategy session side of this over to you. Just since we were talking about blowing up the mine, it does appear, based on our interactions with some of the people, that this mine accesses the base above. So that is an additional potential thread that we might want to pull on.
Question there. So, and I kind of mentioned this during the break. The Lotus was part of a greater organization that like had multiple ships and ship captains that we all met out of like some hub, right?
Correct. Technically, you are all part of the Core Worlds Confederacy as a larger hull, but your specific division is tactical specialty. I believe it was posted in the Discord.
Would I be able to like? Would there be a captain that is closely that we've seen in contact with our former captain that I could do a sending to? Trying to update them and stuff. Obviously, it's ascending, so it's very limited, but...
Right. Go ahead and post that. Let's see just what limitations we're...
Oh, it's very limited. Very limited. But it's like, I'm trying to figure out, is there somebody that I know of that is trusted that would be in the know?
Well, that's a big assumption. Like, they need an intelligence score of at least 1, and we know how uncommon that is.
Most of these fuckers out there are dumb as shit. Okay. Yep.
Because I believe there was another ship captain that we started with, and then we got this one. And
Right.
yeah, because they had a Captain Leonora.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
since we are here.
that's her first name, Captain Leonora
Oh.
Gotter.
Ah, okay.
But we do know of a Captain Pendleton, who is part of a different crew entirely. Some of you may have worked with his operations before the campaigns ever even started. It would have been a far background detail. But he is a known entity. He is known for being rather no-nonsense and direct. None of you have had enough experience with him to know for sure if he can be trusted, but he is, for all of you, the next line in command that would be your obvious go-to.
Okay.
Well, as I was saying, since we do happen to be here, and we do have a thing against Colonel Starr, and we have the means to get into a base without him realizing that we're at the base, we might as well utilize it.
I'm definitely not against that. And I can reach out to, if you recall his name, Captain Pendleton. See if anyone else knows why we were sent here. Might take some explaining, a little bit of magic time, casting spells, but I think we're hopefully about done for the day. In which case we might be able to get some more information.
Well, from what I understand from the workers, they're planning on coming back tomorrow. So if we want to do this before the workers come back, or do we want to wait until after they come back, which may,
Well-
tip off and remove any element of surprise?
My communication would be, when I say take time, I mean minutes, depending on how long they delay in responding. But so nothing too long as we ransack these troops of their armor. As I'm pulling more armor and throwing it in my bag of holding.
Oh, I ended up with a foot. What is it with feet tonight? Why do we keep having freaking loose feet? I ended up with one, though. I got Meridian's foot here with a freaking jellified boot of springing and striding, and now we got this Purge Trooper's foot with a charred boot of enhanced dexterity. Couple more pieces here, we'll be able to build our own little artifact Vecna suit here.
I mean, do you guys think it's worth reaching out to this other captain to see if anyone in the leadership knew of what our mission was supposed to be here, or do we just want to fuck with Star and get out?
No, it's a good idea to get some sort of guidance to find out whether we're here to spy, to bring back information, or to actually cause a lot of mayhem.
Okay.
I'm in agreement.
Very well. Let me think as you guys go about this, let me think about what I need to say to this person.
And extra
Very
points if you
interesting.
can send it in song form.
Not a chance.
Hello, Colonel Pendleton. It's nice to see you today. I've used up half my words. I'll have to cast it again.
Well, there might be a few castings here, yeah.
One casting per verse.
Yeah.
Veritor's thinking this team is usually set to do the latter half of that statement.
So who all grabbed a blaster rifle and added it to their character sheet? There are 4 extra power packs. So that goes perfectly with the 4 blaster rifles we have. If they are indeed divided equally, we do have enough backup ammunition for everybody to have that function once. And it's unlike arrows and crossbow bolts where you have a specific amount of shots. This is, if you roll a natural 1 on your attack with a blaster rifle, the energy is depleted in the pack and you must switch it out. Otherwise, it'll fire indefinitely for you until you roll that nat 1.
I'm good without taking a blaster. I'm just
Yep.
going to
I don't need
put
one.
away all the armor in my bags of holding.
Sure, sure.
Too good, 'cause
Tuki Tuki
it
is
looks
in-
cool, and whatever was on their transport.
Yeah, everything on the transports are those crates that are just loaded with a lot of chipped rock, raw minerals from within the mine. There may be gems, crystals, natural minerals like adamantite that were described earlier within these chunks of stone, but as it is right now, the mission seems to have been get it out of the mine, get it on the transport, and get it to somewhere where it can be refined. So at this stage, it's very much just like, oh boy, I got a rock. Is the plan then to head into the mines then, or what are we thinking?
After we find out what the ultimate goal is, if it's destruction, if it's finding something and returning it, that will dictate our course. But yeah, the mines seem like our best route to get in.
So we're waiting on a Selatem's
Yeah.
phrasing here then, basically.
Yep. So, first off, I don't have sending prepared, but
Womp
thankfully, my magic item lets me switch that out. Let me go ahead and grab that up so you can, folks can see it.
Well, that's handy.
I don't know how to actually share that into chat. So. Is there a way to post an item into chat?
I don't think
Cut and
there
paste,
is.
I think.
Yeah, you just have to
Okay,
copy
yeah.
Copy paste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well, I
It's
already
a
have a
bit
copy and paste, so I'll do
overpaying.
that. So,
Harry, I want my Sith level.
that is what I'm doing. I'm using the charges to swap a spell.
Second to bottom paragraph there.
Yep.
Cool, cool.
So it just takes me a minute of doing that.
Okay.
Then I will send the message to Captain Pendleton, Captain Goddard dead, Lotus destroyed, on Uvari, defeated Star Transport at his mine. What is mission? Should we destroy the mine? What is next action? And they know who is sending it and stuff, so.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Well, let me consider my response there then. Shit, you actually caught him at a concert, so he like barely hears anything you're
Oh,
saying.
damn it.
And you just hear him singing lyrics in return. Darkness imprisoning me. All that I see, absolute horror.
Worst luck ever. I'm just waiting for a response, guys. Keep looting all this stuff.
Okay, then. Let's see here. I'm not going to exactly, I think I'm going to try to keep it short so I don't go over the 25 limit.
Oh, good.
Infiltrate. Apprehend. Gather data. Reconnoiter.
Fine, we have to find Noiter and then wreck them. Great. What's a Noiter?
It's a distant relative of the Noid.
Make a military observation of a region. I knew that, guys. I did not just Google that. I mean, it's kind of redundant. He's got limited words. He says gather data, then reconnoiter. I mean, they're kind of the same thing, but
Very true.
Slightly different, I guess.
For
He didn't say
sure.
who to apprehend, but so let me mark that spell off. I'll go ahead and send again.
Yeah, I think given the nature of the spell and the captain, he can specify that it is Star who we want apprehended.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got some words. So
Yeah, we don't need to apprehend every single person and beast we come across in the dungeon.
yeah.
Ask if he knows that Star is much more powerful than we are.
Apprehend Star. Do it.
Yeah,
Do it now.
I'm not sure he understands what we're dealing with here. I'll go ahead and message him again. Essentially trying to say in limited words. I'm not gonna type it out and shit. Star is powerful, already encountered, defeated us once. Are you sure?
Apprehension, secondary objective, if possible. Reconnoiter, primary objective.
Alright, guys, it seems like we should. Star is a secondary objective. If we can find him without his power armor, then he's likely not going to be as strong. That's our secondary objective. Primary would be infiltrate his base, gather as much information as we can about everything that's going on. They didn't say anything about the mine, so I say we fucking destroy it.
The only side thing about that is it does seem the mine gives you kind of a secret or backdoor entry to the base itself. So if you
Oh, it
destroy
does?
that from this side, then you have to approach the base above from a different angle, so to speak, which is still an option.
I thought we were like way out in kind of boony land.
Oh, definitely. That's what's extra suspicious about this is he's got like a base up on top of this rocky mountain that you guys are at.
Oh.
But the mines down here at the ground level, they will eventually access that from the subterranean levels.
Well,
Sounds like we're
definitely
going
who,
through the
let's make our
mine.
way through.
Certainly an option. The mines have kind of been presented as one way of entry, but of course anybody who's entering the base, however many 100 feet above, they're definitely not using this entry every day, so it's not our only option. This just might be, shit, why not fucking take this?
Yeah, I guess we don't destroy it if we're going to use it as an entrance and exit. Probably wouldn't be beneficial.
Droid on the final way out.
Yeah, yeah.
Good luck chasing us down now, motherfuckers. Now you gotta go back out the main entrance.
Would we know the relative speed of the cargo ships?
You
Like,
mean,
if it, say one of them was unloaded, would we know the speed of it?
oh, the transports here by the rail, they are ground-based vehicles. They do have a slight
Okay.
hover to them. They're probably pretty slow.
Faster than us moving, or
Unloaded and going full bore downhill into the jungle, they would definitely be faster than you.
do we want to take time to take one of these cargo ships back to our shuttle, unload it there, and then bring it back as an escape vehicle?
Interesting.
As long as we could do it relatively quickly. I mean, a lot of this stuff looks like it's very heavy to unload, and the amount of time it would take to get over there, unload it, and bring it back. We still have the time that we don't want the workers coming back in the meantime.
True. Well, Theron and Yordle could continue to unload it as we, along with Stella and I forget his name.
Chester.
Yeah, I knew it was a C. And Chester, they all work to unload the cargo ship, and they could bring it back if we come here on foot. It would take time, but I don't know. Having a quick means of egress might be beneficial for us.
And it might set Mythwolf up nice for next session, like he's finished unloading the cargo and now he's joining you all with the transport.
Yeah, he might have the capability to run up behind us or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, T3 subscriber too. He could fucking like run the opposite way around the planet and still
He
catch up
can-
with you guys here.
Yeah, he can book it. So
Well, plus, does it matter if the workers come back if we're using the mine as to get to the base?
well, they would see
Or
the
not.
transport and the troopers' dead bodies, depending on how much the imps eat. But
Well, they already know they're dead.
true. I guess they do. Yes.
And if they come back, they'll see an empty transport. They'll just think it was unloaded and another transport arrived. So I really don't think it matters. The workers matter if we're not destroying the mine.
I think part of it is also just to have them out of your way and potentially less observers as well. Anybody who can
We just
report
kill
on
'em.
your well, that's an option as well, but that's just adding more steps onto the plan. If they're not here at all, then that's less shit to worry about.
Yeah. We haven't directly killed any civilian, like any bystanders. We've been a party to a lot of bystanders dying, but we haven't directly killed them.
That's right. I just pushed that guy in front of me to take the fucking blaster shot. I didn't
Actually,
fire the shot.
I take that back. I did slaughter families in their home with my one AoE that was really big. So never
Oh,
mind.
yeah. We did take out an apartment complex.
Yeah.
That's nothing compared to the fucking city damage that the superhero groups get themselves into. The best was when they
Oh,
fucking
Jesus Christ.
got into the fight next to the damn playland. The humanity. So, do we want to bring the transport back and have our stuff unloaded for us, kind of while we're heading back, and then
I'm
pick it
good
up?
with that.
I think it sets up Theron to be a part of the next adventure as well. So I like it from the medicines. I like it, and I
Yeah.
like it from the we have a faster than us movement away that's not going to be our shuttle sitting where it shouldn't.
Right, for sure. Well, we will take strides towards that, and basically be in that position when we pick up this session in 2 weeks on Monday. Getting hopefully the entire group back together, and possibly a couple extra seats filled, depending on how things develop here in the community over the next couple weeks. But a solid session tonight from our party of 5. Very well done here, and congrats on that level up and surviving the Colonel Star encounter, as it appears we're about to get ourselves right back into the thick of it with him, and we do see a bit of what he's up to behind the scenes in our Discord server. And then for the rest of this week, we've got J-Man returning tomorrow night with his Against the Serpents campaign. Had a blast with that 2 weeks ago. Looking forward to more of that. Wednesday, we continue Open Table Session 14 with the battle against Thujigornon, the thugnificent ancient red dragon who the party have encountered twice before, and our means of escaping his demiplane appears to no longer be an option. So one way or another, this is coming to a head. Friday, I believe, is Enemir this week, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Enemir this week, and then next Friday will be the Asilia debut. Of course, Sunday we've got the doubleheader G1, G2, seeing how all of that is merging into the weeknight tabletops as well. So definitely keep your notifications on here for Role Playing Unlimited. We got a lot of games going on that are all starting to intertwine. Not only is it a cool story development, I feel, but it's also kind of bringing us back full circle to the original intent of the open table games, which is you should be able to play at any of them, regardless of what your schedule is. If you can't make Monday night, big deal. You've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's going to be a Thursday D&D game opening up very soon, I should say. Friday, Sunday, and Sunday. So if the schedule isn't working for you one week, with everything merging together once again, and there not being separation between weekdays and weeknights and weekends, those options will now be available for all the players again, in addition to possibly doubling or tripling up on tables, because there are a lot of tables, and we do still have a lot of open spaces until our community comes to full fruition, where we've got 80 seats occupied by, I don't know, 55, 60 different players, and then a nice fluctuation of 20, 25 open seats for people to kind of be able to jump around on a weekly basis as suits their schedule. That's the ideal resolution here, friends. But it was a blast coming back to this. Got a nice recharge over the weekend and over the couple weeks off there. And hope y'all had a wonderful time tonight. I will turn it over here to you for the final moments before we close out the stream.
Awesome game as always.
Yeah, I agree.
I was not expecting to deal with Star so quickly.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I thought that would be a nice twist right there. All right, we're done with Star. Oh, Star's back.
Yeah, I thought it would be like, okay, doing some other things, and Star's the big bad for a while in the background. Like, we know he's level 20, so there's a bit of a power gap, but he does have his armor. However, we're going to his base where he may not, so...
Right, and he's technically a henchman in all of this, too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I like it.
Well, fucking A, friends. Well said. That, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to ramble forever here. I'm just going to close it out with, remember, I come from downtown, born and ready for you, armed with will, and its frustration, and grace, too. Have a good night, friends. We will see you tomorrow. Are you with us?
Catch you later.
Have a good night.
Have a good night as well.
Laters.